as we wrap up our full breakdown of the Airbnb app, and we can just see it is settings. So we can see that there's a lot that goes into these types of apps. It's no small task to put one of these together, and it's why it's so amazing for your future self if you were to do an exercise like this for all of your stuff. And I will also say that if you're watching this and you want help on one of these, I do offer one-on-one sessions that is at a very, very discounted rate. See in the description for that. I offer these as half-hour sessions, kind of a get to know you. Typically for coaching, I've never done this before, but I'll just say that if you wanted to have someone help you with this process, it goes so much faster when you are just, have someone to throw things off against the wall. Here, I'm just doing it up against the computer here and, doing my thing as the guy that makes these videos. But you can see how it would be super helpful to have somebody else to bounce ideas off of. You're just going to go way faster with it. So if you want to schedule one of those calls, go for it. Be happy to meet you, chat with you, and help you lay a good foundation for the structure of your app, your database structure, all of those types of things. Cool. So let's proceed on to our Couchsurfing app. We can see for Hangouts, we actually can't do anything here, but we can imagine a UI here. Find people to hang out with nearby. So basically there's some kind of online and in certain distance, within certain distance. We can imagine that it could be a list of people just like this, hang out now. So if I want to be like, what's up, bro? Peace, man. Peace to you as well. I could maybe be like, hey, Joe has sent you a hangout request, and maybe he gets a little push notification or something like that. So let's just say that there would be push notification for hangout request. Maybe it's a video call or it's just a conversation. Hangout, like we're just hanging out in a text chat. Okay, all right, so for this search thing, what we can search is a location, tells us stuff that's happening, and apparently the location search really only shows events, it would appear. And so I'm sure that I am doing a little bit of a disservice to the app, but you get the process is the same. I'm doing a disservice. I say that because I don't have the ability to, because of my account not being super verified. I'm sure that there is like this. These are all the events, but then there's also, here's all the hosts in the area. And then if we were to click on the hosts in the area, so we've clicked on some of these events before, but we can imagine that this same layout would be like if we clicked on like, here's a host in this area of Mexico City, and they're offering this place, and then up here, instead of this, kind of default image, it's just a bunch of images, just exactly like this setup. Looks like we have some massive internet issues. Okay, so just like this setup, where this would be, let's go check this out. And so this would probably be someone's home. We'd have some stuff. You could say, send a request, start a chat. It has some different things about the listing or whatever, and like what the person likes to do. It would also have a map and where it's located on there. All of these types of things that you can see that would just go on each of these. So we would just copy and paste this thing down into here, because that is what's basically happening here. And then the same would happen for list of all upcoming events. We'd probably have a list of all the hosts in the area. And if we clicked on it, we could see a photo, information, and we'll just leave it pretty basic here, but a way to get in touch. Map, etc. Want to be as thorough as possible, but at this point in the video, you get the idea. Again, really the idea is that, so like for example, when you consider a map thing like this, basically whoever is the host, if they were to put a location on here, probably if you were building an app like this, you would, want to randomly generate a reverse geocoded latitude and longitude. You just want some little like math thing running that generates a new latitude and longitude within 1 to 2 kilometers, so it doesn't give the exact location away, because that just for security purposes or whatever seems to be a good move. But okay, so we can move on from this search box because we basically would see that we go into all of those individual fields there, and then here our inbox, we don't have any messages. We can filter by request, archived, etc. This is going to basically be the exact same as this. In our breakdown, and this is why it's amazing and helpful to look at more than just one app in the space that you are, or the industry that you are planning to create a similar app, or same style of app but in a different industry, not in the niche that you have it planned for, or a client that you're building it has in plan for. Okay, and these profile pages are actually surprisingly big on a lot of apps, and we can see that if we clicked into something like this for friends, we'd probably see a list of friends, and then maybe we could click into an individual friend. And if you are not familiar with building apps, and this is kind of an introductory video, then you've probably noticed by now the same with friends, the same with things like wish lists or just regular properties. There's always giant lists of stuff, and then you click into it, and within that list you just show the same thing, whether it's a friend or a property or an experience or an event. Basically any of these are just repeated with a template structure. And so I'm not going to go, I'm just going to share that in your app, whatever it is that you're doing, you'll profit from taking a look at, okay, do I need a section for X? Do I need a section for Y? Do I need a section for bookmarks, managed subscription, and so on and so forth, like this? What happens when someone clicks one of these? Typically, this area is just a bunch of information for, regardless of what app it is. Like here is just, tax information. Now, one of the last things you're going to want to do is, after you've done an exercise like this, you have an idea of all the different things that need to happen, which, like for example, here on experiences, when we look at one of these, we can see photos, host, available dates, so on and so forth, location, reviews, etc. All of this is stuff that's more telling you, yeah, it's going to have it's going to have a place in your UI, but it's also going to have a place in your database. Like, you need a data structure to be able to handle that and to show that. But what actually happens at the end of a process like this is you can break it down into all of the different pages that you're going to need. And the amazing thing about data-driven websites and apps is it's not usually that many. You only have to build a few things, and then each of these, like for example, this explore page. This page is the same setup as if we went to, let's look for an experience. Let's go back to Rome. Really quick trip. And it's roughly the same as the other one. So the pictures are a little bit taller. They're more of a portrait mode, but this explore page is basically still the exact same. Now there is also no horizontal carousel item that swipes to the side or whatever for a category, but it's basically the same layout. And maybe you would have two of these in your database, but maybe not. Maybe you use the same one and you just use some conditionals that, okay, if they're searching experiences, show this one. If they're searching, let's go back and let's still go to Rome And let's look for stays. Yeah, so note those categories are gone. We just have some extra option here, but still a 3-column matrix with all of the listings, repeated down. So if we created an explore page, we would handle, and we created all the conditionals for it, we basically handle all of the different views that exist. Cool. So this search interstitial page, well, what is this? This is actually this one. So if we built this page, we'd be good to go. If we built an individual property listing, which is the same for this as it is for the experiences, all it is, maybe, so let's see, there's some extra. We know that if we're looking at an experience, it could be the exact same page, exact same, just this one. If we built just this page, but we built all the conditionals, okay, we're looking at an experience, we're going to show a slider show here, and we're going to show this, 3 stack of photos down here in the info. But we're still going to have meet your host, because that's, for both of them, still ability to contact, still a map, still reviews, still, I think this one is extra for the experiences. But basically you can see the differences and the similarities. That's what's being pointed out here. Really rocket science stuff, everyone. Okay, so next up, the booking page, whether we were to book this one. So maybe there's a booking, let's see, booking experience interstitial, if I'm spelling that right, I'm not sure. But okay, so apparently, this page, when there's actual availabilities, it's like an availability would be something in the database that is tied to the experience. Whereas I think over in, if we just looked at, let's just go all the way back home. Let's just grab one of these, and then let's hit reserve here. The same thing is roughly happening, except we go here and we go to a more like checkout type of page. But if we built, so this booking page and that booking experience interstitial for the other one, then we're good to go on all of the people's navigation to find the things that they're looking for inside of this explore area. Under the wish lists, we have this list of wish lists. We have what happens if we look at an individual wish list, and then let's look at trips. Trips was, present, future, past activities. It's just a static thing that won't really change. You just do it once and then list all of the stuff in there. So if we built that page, we'd be done. And then for this inbox, which finally started showing, we would see our conversations here, our messages here. Obviously, a few things. It's got to know what listing or something that we're talking about or what experience, etc. And then if we looked here, our notifications, it's just them advertising to us to go do more stuff and pay them more money. Next up, profile. And have a good time. If we were to build this full profile page here with all the list of the options, and then this individual info page, like for example, when we click onto one of these, there's just some stuff here. Now, this actually would be a long list of pages if we were to, individualize all of these, because then here we have to do this, request your personal data. And like all of these screens, which are an unfortunate necessity, but if you have an app as big as Airbnb, it's no worries. This would just be like 15 more additional pages, which we won't get into. It's just, if the goal of this sheet was to just say, hey, if we built all of these pages, we'd be done. We'd have this app. And now there's a boatload of functionality that goes on to a lot of these pages, and that goes into, especially this one, it's one page, but this one could take 10 to 18 hours, depending if you have all your stuff lined up and you've ever done a conversation and messages thing before, which you haven't. Another reason to go check out the conversations and messaging in the swipe-based dating app on the channel here. Cool. That's it, folks. If you found this helpful, then give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.